The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And here's Lenny.
Ciao, buongiorno, hola, arigato, kamdamisa, konnichiwa. That means good morning, world.
And of
good
course,
morning.
Shalom, which you gotta throw in there once in a while for the co-host. Good to talk to you, Lenny. You got a great guest today. I got to meet him a little bit off air. He is
Ron Jackson. Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Ron Jackson. They're better known as Pappa Jack from Birmingham, Alabama. And I played professional baseball for the California Angels, Minnesota Twins, Detroit Tigers, Baltimore Orioles, and also coached in the major leagues with the Chicago White Sox, Milwaukee Brewers, and the world champion Boston Red Sox in 2004.
Oh,
and
wow.
I coached guys like Big Papi, David, Big Papi, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Jason Varitek, Big Hurt up at Chicago, just go on and on and on. So I'm just happy and thrilled. I also played against Lenny, outstanding ball player.
You both were outstanding ball players. How about that?
Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, we right now we're just trying to help others. Now, that's what it's all about, giving back. Somebody did it.
How did you meet Lenny originally? Where was the first time you got in contact with Lenny?
Well, Lenny, I think you were with the Texas Rangers. I think when I really got a chance to play against you and meet you and talk to you and that type of stuff. Yes.
Very cool. Ralph, that was like the 70s with Ted Williams and Billy Martin. Billy Martin and the Ron was with, I think either had Bobby Winkles or Frank Robinson as a manager. And the owner there was Gene Autry. Gene Autry was a very colorful manager. And Clyde Wright, and all those guys were colorful. Mickey Rivers, Don Baylor. Right. They were a colorful team. And Bobby Grich, I think, was with that squad
Bobby
as well.
Grich. Yeah, I played with
If you
Bobby
guys
Grich.
could talk to Mick the Quick, one of my favorite all-time players, he was instrumental in the Yankees' good years. Tell me a little bit, either of you, and both of you, about Mickey Rivers.
Well, I know Mickey, and I played with when I was in AAA. I played with Mickey also. I got a chance to see this guy. I tell you what, he's a character, man. He walks around like he can't. Yeah, he's a super guy, man. He walk around like he can't run a lick. He grabs it just real, moseying along like it's a turtle. And as soon as he hit that ball, man, he can fly. He one of the fastest guy I ever seen play this game of baseball.
He was also a guy who he could handle Reggie Jackson's ego, couldn't he?
Oh yeah. You got a certain way you have to handle Reggie. I remember a few stories back in California when I played with Reggie. I used to always tell him, say, hey man, they always say that everybody created equal, but I don't believe that. When you come up, they should take the fence back. And I'll tell you what, Reggie just eat that up. Every time I get a chance to, go around with some of the other ball players, he'll say, Pappa Jack, come here, tell him what you told me. And that kind of helped his ego up, and he loved it.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna turn it to Lenny, but I want to ask you one question, because you said Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a kid growing up in New York. I'm in California now, but I was a big Willie Mays fan. I was a Giant fan, New York Giant fan, and Willie was from Birmingham. You growing up, maybe 15 years after Willie? Am I somewhere around that maybe 20?
Well, I'm 64 right now, so.
Okay, so
a little bit longer than that.
Maybe 20. Okay, 20 years later, you grew up in Birmingham. What was it like when Willie came home? I mean,
I remember. Okay. Yeah, I remember when Willie come home. I know he was real close to the mayor, Ayrton. And Everton always say that they would school together. And Willie Mays used to have a restaurant down here called Say Hey, Willie Mays, you know what I mean? Restaurant.
Right.
That's what I remember, Willie Mays growing up and knowing that he played for the Birmingham Barons. His dad also played for the Barons, and Willie was only about 15, 16 years old and played with the Industrial League, baseball, and all that stuff with his dad.
Right.
Willie was an amazing guy. I had him as a coach with the Mets. He mentioned me from
Have either
from
of you could either of you imagine a better ball player than Willie Mays?
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear that.
Oh, I was just going to say, is there anybody better than Willie Mays in either of your eyes?
Well, we know Willie Mays is one of the greatest ball players ever lived, you know, in his era, you know, back in the days. But right now, you know, you got all different type of players. I don't like to say that one better than the other and this and that, but all I know, watching Willie Mays and what people were saying, that he's one of the greatest ball players ever lived. So he's right up there, you know what I mean? And we can't leave out Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, everybody they kind of down on Barry Bonds, but I talked to some of his guys that played with him, and they say this guy is some kind of ball player. You got to watch him every day and see, you know, what type of ball player he really is, you know. Mm-hmm.
He had one weakness, and he made up for it by getting rid of the ball unbelievably fast. He didn't have a great arm in left field, but he sure could release the ball quickly. Are there drills for that, coaches?
Well, the biggest thing, like you say, with Barry Bonds, the biggest thing is charging the ball. The quicker you can get to the ball is going to make the throw a little shorter and get rid of it. And I think that'll really help you. Once that third base coach see you charge the ball hard, and if that runner have made it to third base, he's going to stop him. So that's just like almost throwing out a guy, keeping the double play in order.
Willie used to teach us, like, an outfielder is like a third baseman. Every time you charge a ball, base hit, one hopper, two hopper, coming through the infield, just like Pappa Jack said, you're an extended infielder, but you just happen to be in the outfield. A lot of outfielders were former infielders, but because of their speed, they can cover the whole country. They put him in the outfield. Willie was so fast and quick and had instincts. He could have been a third baseman or first baseman. He could have been like George Scott, or he could have been like, Crane Poole or somebody, or John Milner. But he chose to be in the outfield because he was so fast and his instincts were phenomenal. So he would work with outfielders and infielders. And his arm wasn't suspect because nobody ran on him, even though people might think he had a weak arm. Or you said that maybe not the word weak, but not strong. But if you're getting everything and nobody's getting on, who's there to throw out?
There you go. There you go.
Very good point. Keep them off the base, and there's no problem with throwing anybody out.
I've never seen anybody tag up on him, and Clemente, or Hank Aaron, or Willie Stargell, or Dave Parker, or Winfield, or Reggie Swift, or Dwight Evans. I could keep going. Fred Lynn.
I know.
I saw a lot of great ones, but if you got an arm and you make a good quick release, people won't run on you. Right. If they're covering the White House, they won't run on you.
You're right about that. That's one of the things that we're trying to teach these kids now is to make sure you do long toss. And long toss strengthens that arm. It strengthens that arm, and once you start playing high school and college ball, you have the arm strength. Now we don't see the guys throw like they used to throw, like the Dave Winfield, like you said, Roberto Clemente, and Willie Mays and all these other guys, and Dwight Evans. So you don't see that now, but I think now they're starting to realize that you got to make these kids throw, and that's the only way the arm's going to get better.
Accuracy rules. If you look at the World Series, you saw the lefty get the ball or the tag up at third, and Taylor didn't want to go home. And the report on the guy in left field, former Dodger, and the Dodgers know that his arm is not accurate. It might be good, but he's not accurate. And the ball was up the line. That cost them a run. That cost them a World Series, I think.
Exactly.
Two bad base running errors. Yeah, two of them. When Podesta didn't get to third on a ball off the wall, remember when we were in Fenway, ball off the wall, Yaz was there, or the ball in right center. If you don't get to third and you watching it, we didn't watch it. We didn't watch a ball. We ran. We ran like somebody stole our lunch money.
Exactly.
It's changed. We don't get style points. Podesta should have been on third, shaking the coach's hand, going, "Do I get a bonus for hustling?"
You're right about that. Yep, exactly.
Hey, Ronnie, can I find out something about you a little bit? You live in Birmingham. You ain't going nowhere to live. But if you were forced to live in one of the cities that you played in, which one would it be?
You know, I love Anaheim, California. That's one of my favorite players. That's where I got my start. When I first got to the big league, I said, boy, these lights are bright. And I said, man, they're coming up from the minor leagues. It scared me, man. You know.
Can I ask you about your minor league experience? Who really greased the way for you to come up? Who was a big mentor?
You know what? We had a guy like Bob Clear. Bob Clear helped me. He kind of molded me. He was the first guy that came down here and scouted me in Birmingham, and he liked what he saw. And when I went down in Birmingham, you know, I played football. I was getting ready to go play football to any major college, and then the Angels come running and drafted me number 2. And so Bob Clear was one of the guys that was down here in Birmingham, Alabama, who scouted me. So a lot of the scouts, I got it on video before he passed away about 2 years ago. He mentioned it to me, and a lot of scouts said, "What do you see in that Ron Jackson kid?" And he said he carried me to the instruction league, and the next 2 or 3 years, one of the scouts came up to him and said, "You guys are a great guy with this young man here." You know, he said, "Yeah, he was a little raw down in Birmingham, playing on bad fields, and didn't have all the facilities that he needs to make himself better, and ended up being a decent ball player." Yep.
Amazing thing about it, Ralph, Bob Clear was a decent ball player as well. He was with the pitcher with the Red Sox back in the day. And
back when I was a kid.
He should have played the NBA, 6'6" or 6'5", big guy.
You know what? That's his nephew, Bob Clear.
Oh, okay.
That's his nephew, Bob. What's Mark Clear? Was it Mark Clear?
Mark Clear.
And this is Bob Clear. That was his nephew, his brother's son, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ron, here's my favorite question. Who told you were going to the bigs? Did a coach or manager call you in? What was that about?
Yeah, Norm Sherry.
Wow, Norm Sherry.
Norm Sherry.
Yeah. He's my AAA manager.
Yes, instrumental in getting Sandy Koufax harnessing that speed and whatever it took. He turned Sandy Koufax, who was wild as a Brooklyn Dodger, into what he was. And his brother, Larry Sherry, was a terrific relief pitcher with the Dodgers back in the day. So Norm Sherry told you were a big leaguer, huh?
Yes, he said you're going to the big leagues. He and Bob Clear together, you know. Yes, so, just a lot of hard work, paid my dues in the minor leagues and worked hard and found myself in the big leagues. And was it 1975, right?
And you got into coaching when you left. When you stopped playing, you got into coaching.
Yes, I went straight into coaching after I got out of the game. Believe it or not, I started right in AAA for the Chicago White Sox. Started in Vancouver, Canada. I coached them, and then I went down because I wanted to go back to Birmingham and coach. And we won the championship in Birmingham for the Birmingham Barons here. And so I ended up going there, and I also coached with the White Sox in the minor leagues down in Sarasota. And so then I ended up being the Milwaukee Brewer hitting coordinator throughout the minor league system. And so then I got the job with the Dodgers, coaching for them, and then I moved on, got the job with the big league job with the Boston Red Sox.
Amazing thing about him, Ralph, is he does a lot of giving back in his journey, and he's doing that now with the urban kids out in his town. He's having a fundraiser, and anybody listening, this is like giving away books or money or help those kids get uniforms and bats and balls. They're having a shortage out there with a lot of economy problems, and Pappa Jack's dedicated his life to those 10,000 youth out there at his academy trying to get better, to try to make their dream come true. So Pappa Jack, give them an address or a number where they can send their funds to at your school. Go ahead. That would be great.
Okay. Yeah, you can make everything out to Pappa Jack Baseball Foundation, and the address is 1441 Smithfield, Smithfield, Park Circle. That's in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. 35127. Yes. And you can, well, do you need to give us a phone number? I don't think so.
Yeah, if you want to give the Academy's number, fine. If not, I'll post. Go ahead.
Okay, I can
go ahead.
If they want to call me, I don't care. As long as it's for the kids. 480-620-2376. 480-620-2376. Thanks a lot.
Now, folks, when you send those checks, make sure those checks don't bounce like LeBron's basketball. Make sure they're clear.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Ron, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for blessing the airways.
Okay, and thank you guys for having me on. And anytime you want to talk and chat, hey, my door is open.
Well,
okay?
Can I take you up on that real quick? Because on Sunday, we do, on this network, we do a Minnesota Twins show, an old Senators Twins combination. And I wonder if you'd be kind enough to guest on that show on a Sunday.
What time? That's the only thing. I'm taking some kids to
Dallas.
Dallas.
12 Eastern. Is that a good time for you?
12, probably. Yes, 12, 11. I guess that should be good. Yes.
Well, off the air, Lenny will give you the number to call.
I'll get you the number. I'll get you his number, his DNA, and his shoe size.
Well,
right. See, Lenny's gonna be my agent. You know that. Yeah.
If I had Lenny as an agent, I'd make $100.
Ralph, no, 99. 100 is too much.
In Israel, it's 99.95.
I'm like Jim Palmer. Don't pay me $100,000. It's too much pressure. Just pay me 99.
99,000. I heard that.
Yeah.
Hey,
guys,
Ron, when you coached for the Red Sox, did you run into Tom Kochman? He's a minor league guy with the Red Sox.
Right. I don't know.
He was with the Angels for a long time.
Yes, I know who you're talking about now. Yes, that's been a good little while back. Yes. Wow.
Good acquaintance of mine from the old days, and I just wanted to say that he could have been the next Tony La Russa.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, but he didn't drink enough. I'm only kidding, Tony.
Oh.
I'm being. Tom was a great is a great baseball man, and
okay.
I just wanted
I'll tell you what.
Say that. Wonder if you ran into him.
Oh, look. No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I haven't ran to him lately. You know.
Okay.
He was around the Jimmy Pearsall era. That's it.
Would you get the number off the air and the code, the 5-digit code number, Lenny, if you pass it along? And Sunday, would you call in at 12 noon?
Yes, Sunday. Yeah, just remind me. You know, we're taking a team up to Dallas from Birmingham, leaving Friday. We're gonna go on a Kershaw baseball camp on Saturday. This coming Saturday.
Lenny, text me Ron's number, and I'll call him and remind him.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Wonderful show, Lenny, as usual. And again, Ron, we're going to do what we can to spread the word about getting some bats and equipment to Birmingham, Alabama, home of
Okay.
kids.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All
See you tomorrow, Lenny.
Okay.
We'll
Stay
talk
blessed.
then.
All right.
Be well.
All right.
Okay, anytime.
Hey,
Okay,
do one thing
anytime,
for me. Pappa Jack, when you see Kershaw in Texas, give him a wedgie for me.
Okay.
Say, this is from Lenny and Randle. Nice wedgie. And remind her, oh, that's from Lenny. Yeah, okay. Whoopee. Okay.
Oh man, that's
God
great.
bless you, brother.
I just hope they.
Yeah.
I hope he wins.
Passing on the tradition of wedgies
in a good frame of mind.
all over Birmingham, Alabama.
We'll start a new tradition.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
God bless
guys.
you, brother. All right.
See you
Take
later.
care. Ciao, arrivederci,
Okay.
grazie. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, you guys take care. God bless you. Okay, bye.
We are back. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm here with Lenny, and he has a guest.
Gazelle from UCR campus and Dodger Sports and LA Sports and Riverside Sports and Inland Empire. And I think he covers hockey and horse racing. Am I right, Gazelle?
There's not much I don't cover, Lenny. Yes, from Inland Sports, and great to be on with you. Great to be on with one of the great characters in Major League Baseball, Lenny. I am honored. Thank you so much.
I'm honored
Ralph,
to have you on the network, too, so welcome.
Well, yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Now, I got to share this with you, Ralph. He's from New York as a kid, and he lives in California. I think he got rid of the snow. When he came out here, he changed his life, and he doesn't know what snow is anymore, and he does all of coast-to-coast writing, basically, as a kid. He was a Met fan, I think, not a Yankee fan. Am I right, Gazelle?
No, I was a Yankees fan.
I thought I'd slip one in on you, but
what part of New York did you grow up in, sir?
You know, actually, I was born in Brooklyn, but I spent most of my young life in northern New Jersey, Bergen County.
Oh, okay. I'm from Queens, so welcome to California.
I love Park Ridge and Little Neck, little parts of Jersey, you know, shore, right there, Short Hills, New Jersey. You ever go around there?
Yeah, I remember Short Hills when I was a young man. I got cigarette ash flicked on me up the Short Hills Mall by a young lady with big hair. But yeah, beautiful part of the city.
Yeah.
Did that start some sort of tradition in your life where you had to go back for that?
No, pretty much that me and my friends decided, you know what, that's not the greatest place to go. Let's go somewhere safe like Newark. That's what we thought.
Oh, yes, Newark. Safe as can be. Hey, listen, on a serious note, what is safe nowadays? East Coast got racked again by terrorism. New York, Lower Manhattan, some crazed man in a pickup truck just ran over a bunch of bikers, and it's craziness. It's craziness. Anything you can make of this, either of you guys, that can shed some hope for sanity in the future, or is this going to just continue to progress?
You know, just going to send my love to New York City. It's a city that I love dearly. And reflecting on it, you always you pray and you're thankful that there's more good people in the world than people that will try to do harm, and you just hope that the good people can continue to be strong and rise above what these types of incidents.
Yeah,
I think it should be more vetting, background check. I travel a lot every 14, 15 days. I'm in Italy, Germany, Spain. And I see all what's going on at the Border Patrol. I talk to the Border Patrol guys. I talk to Customs. They would like for things to change to have it safer. People don't carry more than 50 pounds worth of stuff. And in Sicily, it's pretty much, if you have a veil over your head, I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but if you don't have the attitude that they like where they can't see a person, you basically don't sleep with the fish. They don't have any problems, okay? Do not have any problems in Sardinia, Sassari, or Porto Torres and Possibile. The Pope's not going to have any problems walking across the street. Not happening in Italy right now, folks. I'm letting you know they don't tolerate. It's zero tolerance. Take the veil off. Take this off. Take that off. If not, I'll go sleep with the fish. You disappear. It's zero tolerance. They have dogs sniffing. They have bayonets. They're ready to go to war at the drop of a hat. And it's zero tolerance. And everybody's happy over there. I mean, we get along. Everybody gets along. It's not like, it great background check. If you come in on a boat, the whole boat's going to get searched, top to bottom. I don't care.
Lenny, what's really scary is that they're indoctrinating people from within so that they don't have to concern themselves with folks emigrating from their countries. And the hold that ISIS has on the Internet, and it just expresses to me that there's an incredible dissatisfaction with these kids, that they can be drawn into something so outrageous.
People are a little weak right now. They're internally, family. I mean, they need a like on Facebook. They need a like on Twitter. They need a like on Instagram. They want to have praise. So a lot of parents, 70% of the kids I see are no parents, single parent kids. Even same thing in college. A lot of the pros not even have mom and dad. Uncle and grandma raised them. You guys got to know your generation is coming back 40 and over.
It does simply take a village.
Yeah, it takes a village to raise a whole kid, a whole team, a whole village. And I mean, when I go through Riverside or Palm Springs or LA or wherever I go, the first thing I ask the principal of the school or the parents or the PTA, who's raising the kids? Who's raising the kids? Where are they getting the foundation? Do they have dinner together anymore? Giselle, you know, it's drive-by food. Nobody has time to go to Starbucks. They drive through now.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I think it's a different dynamic, and there's good, you know, there's positive angles, but yeah, you know, the family is, it's very different. So, I mean, I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, we always had dinner at the table, you know, mom, dad, brothers.
And you were late. You missed out.
Grandma, grandpa, and you know, aunts and uncles would stop by.
How many families can afford to have both parents home? To have your kid not be a latchkey kid, it comes down to.
Well, I mean, you have. See, we raised with our grandmothers and parents. You know, they retired. Or, you know, the neighbor next door would take care of you between 4 and 7. It was kind of automatic. It wasn't a problem getting home. We didn't have to get picked up from school. We walked 3 to 5 miles and loved it. We weren't dropped off and picked up like today. So there's no interaction. The only interaction is the cell phone and the text. Are you there? Where are you? Meet me at McDonald's. You know, it's not any physical hi, let me look in your face. People's eyes are glued to the ground. I see people walking into poles in the mall because it texts so much.
I almost had it happen the other day. I'm walking along and young gentleman is coming towards me, and he's on his phone, and I'm kind of waiting for him to kind of see that I never saw that I was there. So,
hey,
if you went boo, he would have dropped the phone.
I hate to get off the subject. I'm still captivated by the combination of hockey and horse racing. So,
most hockey players, I don't know about you, Gazelle, my teammates own horses, and some of the hockey players, it's a rush. I mean, Dick Allen owned a horse. He was a baseball player. Lou Piniella, George Steinbrenner, Johnny Bench. A lot of the Reds own horses. Doug Flynn, and we're in Kentucky, Cincinnati, so in Florida. So those regional areas are horse breeding type people. They just raise around it. In Riverside, I remember the Millers, Daryl and Reggie riding in the barns, riding horses in the orchards in Riverside. If you're in that kind of suburban area, you do as they do. You live in Rome, you do as the Romans.
I mean, Hollywood Park is closed now, but we have Santa Anita still in Southern California, and then of course there's the great on the East Coast. You have Saratoga. You have some great places where you can go watch anything on the East Coast as well.
Especially the Arabian.
How'd you get into following the horses?
I got into it because of my dad. I mean, you, as a gazelle, you're covered, or you raise them, or you ride them?
One of my broadcasting mentors was Lou Riggs, and he was the voice of San Diego Racetrack for 17 years. So I kind of followed them through him.
And it's festive, right? I mean, to go down and sniff manure and have a sandwich and have lunch and meet the jockeys, you know, and there's always a celebrity there doing something or just hanging out. Oh, there's Vince Scully. Oh, there's Rodriguez. You know, Snoop. I mean, I saw so many people at a racetrack that I thought it was a second home. I mean,
Lenny, have you ever been involved in training jockeys and exercises and what have you?
No, but I knew jockeys that dated tall women. I always watched their women first. They were 6'4", and the jockey was 5'4", and I kind of went, "Wow."
Okay, I didn't mean training jockeys along those lines.
well, jockeys have a great personality. They have a great sense of humor. They have a very loose life. You know, the nightlife, Gazelle, you can relate to that. You know how, I'm sure you've gone to Shoemaker, and you've probably met some of the other guys around the circuit, but they have a fun life.
I do meet every once in a while because part of a sportscasting group I go is very connected to Santa Anita. And you know, it's an interesting lifestyle because those guys are up very early in the morning to train, and then they do the ride generally in the morning, and then they're done by about 2 or 3 in the afternoon for the rest of the day. And and then hilarity ensues because they have very interesting social needs, and they're out and about.
And as athletes, they're incredibly strong. Incredibly powerful to be able to control those horses.
The training, I was amazed how rigorous their training is, gentlemen, in terms of their diet and in terms of their fitness regimen. You know, they're up at 4. They're eating
They have a weight requirement. I mean, it's amazing. They have the guy's 99 pounds, and he goes 105, and everybody's mad at him, and they're going to blame him if they lose. And it's like, okay, you got to lose 5, 10 more pounds. And then you go, but, you know, he's half dead if he's 90 pounds or 80. You know, no man should be under 100 pounds to me. I mean, it's just not, you know, unless you tattoo or Boston Flame, you know, one of those guys.
Going on in that community.
Amazing. It is amazing. They're not healthy. They really aren't. And they know they can get fired at a heartbeat.
There's an excess of bulimia going on.
But the reward is, you sacrifice for the reward of the fame and the salary. They have average of $300,000 a year, because all the funds and the sponsors and, you know, pay for the lifestyle, and they usually live at the stable or somewhere near the training facility.
$300,000, that's what a bat boy makes in baseball.
Unreported 60.
Really? Wow.
I'm serious. I used to watch Big Unit and Seattle Mariners, and, you know, we tipped the guys to pick up our cars and stuff. And Gazelle, you probably remember some of this. Angel guys, even Troy. You go get my car, here's $100. Griffey would go, here's $300, get my car, bring my golf clubs, and bring it in the room, and then keep the car. Because we're going on the road. They keep the car while you're on the road.
It's like a Seinfeld thing. You pay money and you come back and you hope the car's parked in a good spot.
Yeah, they took care of it. I mean, it was part of the life. You wouldn't do that after life, but when you're in that field, you don't have a lot of time. It's called a perk, you know. I saw bad boys making $60,000 a year, low, and that's a bad year, tax free.
Life
These are 18, 16-year-old kids
at that level. Lenny, are you amazed looking back how the money has changed from the time you played till now? I mean, we know why, the free agency, this, that, and the other thing, but...
No, because I still look at Gazelle,
Hello?
I mean, a Five Guys burger is still a Five Guys burger. I kind of look at it the same, you know, as far as, if you make 300,000 or 150,000, you only need what 2,000 or 3,000 to live in a house, and 200 or 300 to buy a car and pay rent or whatever for the car or leasing it. But I don't look at the scale of 2 million and 5 million and 8 million and 9 million, because whatever it is, Uncle Sam's getting his cut. And
I'll ask you this: where does the excess go, and how is it that such a high proportion of athletes who made an awful lot of money, and of course it's not everybody, but the notable guys end up absolutely broke, and they had millions go through their hands over the course of a career? Is it their managers, their hangers-on? What contributes to that, Lenny?
I call it the Karl Malone syndrome. He made $8 million. Uncle Sam took $4 million. He didn't do the math on $4 million going to Uncle Sam, so he actually lived like he made $6 million. And then he goes, oops, I'm $2 million short. And oops, I got to hurry up and get the season started because it's all gone by opening day the next year, because he bought 4 trucks, a couple of homes that he bought for his family and friends and girlfriends, 6 marquee $50,000 rings and watches for the hangers-oners. And then he goes, oops, I'll hurry up and wait for they have the strike season. And they go, oh, my God, if we sit out, I'm broke. Okay, I'll go to Denny's and get a job, work at night. I'll be a stocker because I got to feed my family. You think you can play forever. That's what the problem is. You're never going to die. You're going to play football and baseball and basketball till you're 90. You don't look at there's a 4-year window or 4 days or 4 months. And then you pay off guys like Gazelle. Gazelle used to get probably $100,000 a year from the players just to write a good story.
Well, I wish that was true. You look at the economics of it, though. A dollar isn't worth what it was even 30 years ago. It's the way overall finance is conducted. The way some of these money, and Lenny can speak to this probably. So you got to be careful with these money managers, because the way they're managing these dollars, you may as well just put them on the craps table in Vegas or Atlantic City. It's really frightening how the value of a dollar has gone down, and now people are just speculating left and right. Investment advisors are trying to make more money, when probably if you just took it and left it in real estate or some kind of solid investment, probably make more money than throwing it, at all these stocks and bonds.
You're better off, Ralph, basically putting it in the bank.
Players, where they instruct players coming up and coming into the big leagues, where what's going to happen? Who are you going to be approached by? Who's legitimate? What do you look for in an investment manager or an agent? Is it baseball's responsibility, because it's a management labor thing? They don't care if you're an informed person. If you're a lousy negotiator, you'll get less money from us. What's the story?
It's kind of like this.
What responsibility does baseball have in this?
You really can't trust anyone. E.F. Hutton, Chase Morgan, Madoff. I mean, I could go on. You just basically put it in a shoebox and hope it's there at the end of the year. And then you know it's there because you put it in there. You don't always. I remember Jim Palmer losing $200,000 in a mall investment, and he was pissed off about it. And then some advisor came along that was with E.F. Hutton, Charles Schwab, all these companies. You gotta trust one of the guys, but you can't, because they make mistakes too. It's a human error, bad investment.
Right.
Oops, write it off on your taxes. I'm sorry, he's not gonna pay the rent. It's just a risk. So you're better off just putting it in the bank or putting it in somewhere, safe deposit box, or buying your own real estate and just doing it yourself and not rely on other people. That's the problem. A lot of players don't take the time to study.
You probably have encountered these people, is that the thinking financial advisor is going to give you a plan for 10, 20, 25 years. There are too many guys that come up to people like you, Lenny, and they'll say, hey, Len, float me $25,000. I'll give you $125,000 by the end of the year. And they can't deliver on their promise. I mean, I know a lot of very reputable financial advisors, and their angle is always long term. And particularly if you're a young man, if you're 20, 21, and you have a bonus of $300,000 or $500,000.
It sounds good.
They're going to tell you, hey, let's work this for 20, 25 years. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear that they're going to turn your money around in a year or two. That's why they fall prey to some of these guys.
Okay. How about education?
Remember this adage, 5 will get you 10?
As to how short their careers are, and what are they going to do after leaving baseball? I mean, you leave baseball at 40 years old. You're a young person. What is one prepared for?
Well,
or is
most of the guys
makes it, hey, I've got FU money now. I don't need to work.
They don't know what to do. Not for $1 million a year. They don't know what to do with it. So family member, a friend, a buddy who knows 1 and 1 is 2 that can do decent math, they trust them for some reason because no one's around them that they know financially. That's a financial advisor. So that's why some of them fall into not knowing life after sports. They don't know nothing about. Your whole career should be, what am I going to do once my leg is gone? What am I going to do if I pull a muscle or arm? That was a plan in my family. Everybody was like, the life after. What are you going to do if your eye falls out? It sounds crazy, but you prepare. We on that course. A teacher can't teach forever because, you get a great tenure, but you're going to retire at 40 or 45 or 55 or 60 or as long as you can walk. Baseball, you can't. I remember when Willie Mays was crying to me, Ralph and Gazelle, about his legs going out and playing center field anymore and being a coach, and it just hit him. At 39, some guys get at 35. Your legs go. Your heart doesn't go and your mind doesn't go. But when your legs go, you're like, dang. You ever hear the phrase, I lost a step? Some guys lose 5 steps. And you don't want to face it. You want to face it. You're slower. You're not as quick. Some guys age quicker. They're done at 30. It's amazing what the body can do. I think there's no preparation.
They made the mistake of saying that Frank Robinson had an old body when he was like 28, and they traded him from Cincinnati to Baltimore. They used that expression, old body. That was ridiculous.
Well,
anyway, that's used as an excuse sometimes by management.
Well, sometimes, Gazelle, you can account for this because you've been on the inside. So-and-so can't pitch. He went from, like, Verlander. Let's take him, for example. Detroit thought he was done. Throw him away, give him to the Wolves, bury him. 2 or 3 years ago, he's been hearing that. He went from 100 to... He had some arm issues, so he had to get some treatment. So if you've got a good sports medicine guy or a sports therapist, he can prolong your career. Nolan pitched till he was 46. You guys realize that? He had a bike on the field. He threw a football. He had great conditioning.
The same way.
Guys, we're talking about Nolan Ryan. For some people who may not know who that is, he played for a long time.
There are rumors of him using PEDs.
And Nolan was a bicycle football thrower, Pat House, guru kind of guy. He'd listen to how can I prolong my life and my arm. It's not like he had to run. He just had to throw. I remember Bruce Sutter, 88 to 82. Tommy John, 82, 83, 84 miles an hour. Wasn't 90, 95. He goes, how am I going to make my sinker sink, and how am I going to play 25 years? How am I going to stay in the league? I have to come up with a new pitch. Maybe I'll cheat and use Girl Trove or do like Gaylord Perry and use a spitter. Well, whatever works. They call it a splitter or a spitter.
Right. Did Roger Craig develop that splitter?
Roger Craig or Roger Clemens?
No, but Roger Craig coached it, I think, and he really coached that first splitter back in Detroit, Morris and those guys, and then he became a manager at the Giants and coached it. But
a lot of pitching coaches Then that era, like Verlander, go 6 or 9 innings and you're a hero. I mean, 4 or 5 and you're a hero. It's changed because you got to close.
Okay. Lenny, some interpretation or feelings about the World Series, this current World Series where Game 7 tonight is coming up, and how do you feel about it?
Go ahead. Gazelle, you there?
Yeah, I think it's interesting how when your moves go well and they work out, and like Mr. Dave Roberts, he pushed a couple of buttons yesterday. People kind of scratched their heads, but they worked out, and now he's a genius. In Game 2 and Game 5, when it didn't work out, they're like, "What did you be doing it?" So it's interesting, and we got a Game 7. So you got to be happy there's a Game 7. But all of a sudden, Dave Roberts is a genius now because his work is the moves he was making. It didn't work out in the first 2 games. Finally worked out in Game 6. Well, what surprised me, I don't know what you guys feel, for the Dodgers to have been in 2 extra inning games and lost them both was a bit of a surprise because coming into the series, all you heard about was how great the Dodger bullpen is compared to Houston. And so you got to give Houston kudos for getting the job done in 2 and 5. But now it's Game 7, all hands on deck. Should be a thriller tonight.
It's going to be awesome.
Beautiful.
I love the fact that the bunting. I'm surprised that, the bunting strategy, the hit and run strategy. I'm a fundamentalist, Arizona State guy. You got to tag up on a fly ball. You got to score it from second. Period. I don't care who's out there in the outfield. Ball off the wall. You got to make it a triple. You don't stand there and watch it and go, is it going over? Is it going over? I saw things that we would have been fined, Gazelle, $1,000 to $5,000 watching a ball if it's going to hit the wall or go to the fence. We would have been fined if we didn't make it from second to home on anything in the gap or anything in the air. It was just automatic. We were more aggressive than today's guys. I'm not taking anything away from the fact that Dave Roberts is a fundamentalist, and that's because he rode the bench. He talked to guys on the bench and in the bullpen, so he knows the mindset of staying ready, being ready. So if you look at all the extra men that been put products, and the guy that hit the home run last night, and Taylor, and he's got some scrappy Dave Eckstein kind of guys. That's why I classify them. They're scrappy. They have a scrappy team. And if you look at all the reserves, they got strong bench. Yeah, you got to put the Kurt Babako guys, Rick Stanley, Nick Kelleher, guys, Bucky Ditz. Let's go get them, guys. All hands on deck. That was every day, though. It wasn't just for a World Series. That's how we were raised to play. And I see he's doing that old school baseball strategy. So it should win. They should win it tonight. Who do you guys pick?
I picked the Dodgers.
Who do you guys
home
go?
Team. You got to come off the momentum of last night.
Sentimentally, I would like to pick the Dodgers. I have a feeling Houston, something's going to happen and the Astros will get it done tonight on the road. First, I didn't realize it was the first Game 7 ever at Dodger Stadium.
Oh, yeah. You know what's going to be crazy? How about they go 7-7 tie into 2 a.m. and they got to play again tomorrow? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, Bud Selig would call it off. He's not there anymore.
Oh,
maybe that's a good thing.
That would be a tie would be awesome. People want more. We need more joy. We need more excitement.
Hey, young man, you've got some pipes. Have you ever considered doing a podcast on horse racing, maybe on my network?
I do a lot of play-by-play is what I do. And yes, I've been guest on many radio shows and have done many podcasts, but between football and basketball and baseball, I keep myself busy, but I love when a gentleman like Lenny Randle and yourself invite me onto their shows. I love doing it, and it's great fun. I grew up, when I was a child, I had strict parents. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of TV, so I turned to the radio to learn about things, learn about sports and politics, art, and culture.
So you heard Rich Switch Reel. You heard a lot of rentals.
We only had one TV in the family, and someone else was always controlling the channels. So I was a radio buff. Gene Shepard, Long John Neville, Barry Gray. Great interviews and interview shows in New York. And, the radio is terrific. I'm glad you joined us today, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you and Lenny for having me. And would love to do it again anytime.
Let me give you podcast radio is selfless self-promotion. So what you got going, where can we reach you, what are you plugging, give me a website, all those things. Well,
my website is, it's pretty simple. It's, it's Ghazal, Gihizal, Hassan, HASAN.com. And then you can find me on all the social media outlets. And then tune in starting in February. We got UC Riverside Baseball. You can tune in on GoHighlanders.com. And then I'm also the voice of CSUN, Cal State Northridge Basketball. You can tune in at GoMatadors.com starting in about a week. We open with Life Pacific.
Wow, terrific.
And thank you guys.
Would you please go through Lenny and befriend me on Facebook, and I'll send you a link to this show when I put it up. And
absolutely.
I appreciate you being here. Lenny, you always bring the most interesting people on the planet. Lenny.
Thank you, and that's how we live.
All right.
Gotcha.
We'll talk tomorrow,
Shalom.
Lenny. Shalom and all the...
okay, looking forward to it.
Shalom. I'm getting you to be a Jew boy.
Arrivederci.
All right, that's better. How about this?
We don't spoil the listeners.
To all the listeners out there, whatever the hell you are, be peaceful, for crying out loud. This world is turning out to be something that I never expected it to be. It's craziness. I'm becoming an agoraphoric, whatever the hell. I stay home all the time. Agoraphobia.
That's why sports and entertainment is a great escape. People just keep laughing.
Absolutely. We're the candy store of the world. We're laughing and we forget our troubles. And, there's more to be said for that than anything else. Just the real world can be brutal. And let's have some fun today. Thanks, Lenny. Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Adios, everybody.
Awesome. All right, ciao, grazie.
Hey, I'm back with Lenny Randle. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm Ralph Tyko, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. The man, the myth, and the legend is here right now. Lenny Randle.
It is amazing in L.A., folks. There are a lot of happy people. A lot of happy people for the sake of the game because they didn't care who won or lost. And there are a lot of unhappy people with hangovers in the parking lot out here right now at Dodger Stadium.
Well, it's been 29 years, and I can't think of a franchise that deserves it more. I have to say, I'm a lifetime New York Giant fan and later a Met fan. And I no longer hate the memory of the Brooklyn Dodgers. I love the memory of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and I really respect the franchise. Magic Johnson did one hell of a job. Gotta give him that.
Yeah, he put together. You know what's amazing? Magic is like a visionary. You know, some people might think he's weird, different, aloof, icon. He knows how to put personalities together. He knows how to screen a team to get a leader that wants to share the leadership. You know, like he's doing with LeVar Ball. People may not like his dad. People may like his dad. People might like the way he's marketing. People may not like the way he's marketing. But the point of it is he's getting winners that think team, even though other people are bringing in the noise. And they're surrounding themselves with trophies. When you surround yourself with trophies, what's not to like? I see Astros getting a trophy. The Astros are getting a trophy. People may not understand AJ. They may not understand, the little fella, Altuve. They may not understand Gonzalez. They don't understand Astros at all. They don't understand Nolan Ryan. But they're winning. They don't understand Enos Cabell. You know, he's one of the guys out there helping. It's been Jose Cruz. That generation of old school ball players is back in the Astro organization. They played small ball, big ball, little ball. They weren't looking for a big home run. They executed. I saw a lot of new people that go, wow, I really like the way they play. I like the way they get the guy over, hit him over, butt him over, whatever it takes, sacrifice. They play old school baseball. It's awesome to see that. The new generation saw one of the best series ever. It's contagious.
Enthusiasm carries over. I mean, he's stoic. He reminds me of Gil Hodges as the manager. His expression never changes. I think he had one smile on his face the whole series. But Altuve just brings up the energy level. And, you know, there's that old thing, well, they're pros. If they can't get up for this game, they can't get up for that. I don't think that's it. Team dynamics. You tell me about that, Lenny. Am I right? Does Altuve really...
I play with some Texas players that have personalities, from, your...
And so did they.
Your Craig Nettles. It's contagious. It makes you want to go out every day. It's fun to watch him play.
You were that way, and you didn't have to teach it. It isn't, these guys, it isn't something you can bring on another player or coach another player, coach him up. It's got to be natural. Otherwise, it looks affected. And I'm sure there are guys who have tried to fake that. Anybody that you can mention that had false enthusiasm that showed right through?
I can name some false enthusiastic players, but I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm gonna talk about the guys that were fun to watch, like Mickey Hatcher was fun to watch. I like watching Mickey Hatcher. I like watching Casey with Sean Casey with the analyst, on the MLB Network. A lot of people don't know. Casey's fired up, waking up, getting out of the bed, coming to the ballpark. That stuff is contagious. Sitting in the room, getting a cup of coffee with him, or I got some film of him doing a pregame speech to one of our independent teams, one of our other teams. These guys that just have an infectious way about them, whether they playing baseball or bowling. They're just the way they are. They just have happy personality. Mickey Rivers happy personality. Greg Nettles.
Our guest yesterday, Ron Jackson.
Yeah, he's like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was terrific. I mean, that epitomized what we're trying to do on this show, Lenny. Bring in guys who are helping kids, who are making sure that the next generation gets to see how the game is played, that it's played right, and with proper instruction. And it has nothing to do with how much money you have. You get out there and play and have fun. And so let's get Pappa Jack some bats and equipment. Anybody listening to this, listen to the last segment and get his name and address and help this man out, because he's doing some good for the future of baseball and, may I add, humanity. Because, as you know, Lenny, baseball is a peacemaker. You do it internationally, and you can see it. When you go out to a baseball game in Italy or Germany, you can't tell if these players, where they're from, who, all you can say is it's ball players. And address the skill level internationally. Is it AA, AAA, the good teams? Where are they at?
It's a good AA level, But the reason it's amazing. People are really, we only play 2 games a week, guys. You make $3,000 to $5,000. You play 2 games a week. Listen to the schedule. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay, you practice. You play a doubleheader on Friday or a doubleheader on Saturday. You're done. Sunday, I'm in Paris. Monday, I'm in Belgium. Tuesday, I'm in Lisbon, Spain.
Now, travel between countries isn't
an hour. Our train, our plane, $40, $50. We get a Coney pass at like $5. $5. And it got your own room, your own cart, your own cabin. If you're going on the train. If you do a plane, it's $100. Jump on a plane and go wherever you want. It's because everything's, it used to be 5 currencies. Now it's euro, and it's going to change to the French now. Are going to go back to their pounds and pence and scudos. Every country had their own little niche. Italy was was a lira. The lira was fun to see the dollar worth $1,500 per dollar, which is $500 bonus, or 50 cents, depending on how you look at how you spend. And some guys would play the currency every day because it fluctuates. The money goes up and down every day internationally. But the culture...
Are there some teams
phenomenal.
that have working agreements with the teams internationally in Europe where you are?
Yeah, the Major League Baseball now is a team up in northern part of Italy near Bologna, Verona. They've got to put a academy there to start training more kids to get to everyday training, because there's no everyday workouts. It's just, part-time. It's a hobby. It's not considered a pro life until, guys like Calabello came over with Toronto Blue Jays and, hit 80 RBIs and 30 home runs, and people went, wow, there's baseball in Italy. This kid can hit. He was 28 years old, but he's like a young Ichiro. Ichiro came over at 28, 30 or something like that. And people can't imagine if more players would jump over a pond, your Ichiros, your Darvish, they're as good. There's some good Major League players that are playing at that level. They just need to get out and challenge the world. Basically, come and challenge America, AA, AAA, or a big league job. So they're now beginning.
How does it work for you guys? Do you have tournaments, different countries against each other?
Right now, Italy just won they have Series A. They just won the Series A Cup, which is like the European Football Cup. Like Manchester, David Beckham's old team, in London came down and played Liverpool and, you know, those British soccer teams. And you see the same thing in baseball, but now they're calling it the Euro Baseball Cup because it's gotten so big now that more players want to play baseball. Baseball is booming now over there. You know, the salary structure is going to change, but it's not going to be at the level of soccer. You know, it's like the fifth sport still. You know, the soccer, cycling, car racing, and basketball, Palacanestro, you know, which is still big. Basketball is still big over there as well. It'll get there.
It's an exchange both ways. You have players from America coming over to Italy and other countries, and you have players in countries in Europe coming to America. How does that work?
Well, what I do is I'll take 9 or 10 players over Americans, but it'll be Puerto Rican, Japanese, Korean, a combination team, and Americans. And it'll be all the cultures, and they're going to all learn from each other. So when they go over there, they're going to get everybody's email, Facebook, websites, and whatever. So my guys are going to teach their players how to play. We're going to tour all of Italy. We do Rome, Sicily, Sardinia, Puerto Torres, Anzio, Latina, and then we go up north. And we do all this by train and car and flight. And we take a yacht, a boat, across the Mediterranean Sea. These kids interact with each other. It started a new league. We have a new league there called the Sun League now. The Sun League is going to be like Puerto Rico of winter ball, or Venezuela, or Caracas, you know, Venezuela, and Dominican ball. It's 85 degrees every day, all winter. So I'm going to try to get my...
Who's the administration on the league? I mean, who sets up the travel? I don't think you get up every morning and book 14 guys on a train, or maybe you do then.
I do, but I only do it once a month. But what I do it once a month. I don't try to save the world. I'm trying to save 9 lives and change 900 lives by having the little leaguers meet the Americans, and we do a teaching, coaching clinic, and then we'll play a game and do a scrimmage so they can see the difference of how our fastball is or our running is, because they're 18, 19, 21-year-old teams are playing against our 23-year-old college guys and 24-year-old college guys. And some of these college guys don't want to come back to America after 2 weeks over there. They're like, do I have to? I had guys throwing away their passports. Kenny Landreau threw away his passport. Him and Ron LaFleur and Craig Nettles and Fergie Jenkins came over and Sosa. They didn't want to go back. They didn't want to go back. It's a fun life, and it's a great way to teach and learn and get some culture. And it's amazing that, all our military guys are over there, Signalia Air Force Base, Napoli, and Aviano. And we play golf and do clinics and stuff with their kids as well and boost their egos and morales. And it's amazing to see the interaction of they feel like they're in America for a week when we're over there. All the troops, all the soldiers, all the kids. We're bringing the whole culture explained. Now we're learning Spanish, Italian, and Hebrew.
Hey, all right, throw a little Hebrew in there. It puts everybody in a state of mind where they can forget their troubles a little bit. We talked about this yesterday with the candy store of life. And if you could just take 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 hours a day to forget your troubles as a fan, wow, baseball's a great sport. Give me a recap of the World Series in your eyes. Obviously, this is the day after. The Astros, first time in their history, they were the Houston Colt 45s. And congratulations to a very recent guest, Aaron Pointer, whose sisters were the Pointer sisters, was my guest 2 or 3 weeks ago. And Aaron is a former retired, and he is a presently retired NFL referee, and had a cup of coffee, actually spent 4 or 5 years in the big leagues, never got his pension. And which is another story. There are 500 major league players, former major league players, 500 plus, including Mr. Pointer, including Ted Theodore, Carmen Fanzone, Jimmy Quayle's, names you'd recognize, names you wouldn't recognize. And the Major League Player Association is at odds with these players. It's a very long story. But basically, they didn't qualify for their 4-year pension, and as a result, get nothing. However, the MLBPA, which is their union, in 1982 found a way of taking care of, and rightfully, all the Negro League players that played back before they were allowed entry into big league ball. They gave them a small pension, and that was wonderful and rightly done. And right now, it's time for the Players Association to step up and take care of some of these players that are. Mr. Pointer isn't one of them. He is by no means indigent. As he says, he doesn't need it for himself, but there are a bunch of players out there that do need it, and if he and those players got it, it would be fair. So there's my spiel for the day, Lenny Randle.
Well, I know of a few
myself. Can I
myself.
ramble or what? You're Randle and I'm Ramble.
There are quite a few guys that are coming out of that situation as we speak. So with the bat program, baseball,
and the first thing they try to do is make it a reverse discrimination thing, and it isn't, because many of those players, including Mike Reynolds, who's Hal Reynolds' kid or brother, and doesn't qualify. And Hal Reynolds is one of those on the player committee that's vehemently against doing this. So it's a crazy. One of the other players, Steve Rogers, is against this. For technical stuff, refer to Doug Gladstone, please, if you would. He wrote a book, A Bitter Cup of Coffee, about many of these players' experiences of coming up, contributing to the game, and being up for a little bit. And you mentioned Bats. Bats tries to take care of folks. They're just terribly underfunded, and this could help a lot of people. So there you go.
We have a. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
We have a plan to do some autograph and memorabilia shows. We're putting together a movie film in that regard for fun to go to those causes. You know, we're getting guys, out of retirement to come and join the film as we do, like John Stearns came out. We did a film in San Diego a while back, and now we're putting that together to make it a reality show documentary so that the players, like Ed Kranepool, Ed Charles, and Felix Leon, and some of the guys that we know will help let us know who.
And the cat. The glider and the cat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm a Met fan, and you're just mentioning some names that make me feel really good. I know John Stearns is an ASU guy. Am I correct?
No, he wish he was, and if I call him right now, he'll tell you he's mad because he didn't get to come to ASU, and he's still pissed off about me. He's still mad at me because I went there.
Okay, well, everybody's jealous of somebody else for some other reason. But that's reason to be jealous. I thought Stearns, the dude, was an ASU guy, but he was traded by the Mets to the Phillies for Tug McGraw. Now, the iconic Tug McGraw. So how does he come into New York? He comes into New York by killing it. He had 2 or 3 really super years for the Mets, very underrated and unappreciated perhaps because he was traded for a great player. He was super with New York. If you speak to him, thank him for me, as a Met fan. And if you speak to Felix Millan, wow, he solidified second base for those Mets for a long time. And
I could call the dude right now if you folks want to hear from the dude.
Give him a call. I'm going to stop this. We'll go to break, and when we get him, I'll push the button again. You are listening to the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I get to thank the dude in a few minutes. Hang in there. It's the Lenny Randle Hot Corner. See you in a bit. Back with Lenny. We don't have the dude, but we do have Mark McLemore joining us. Mark, thank you for blessing us and being on the show. You're a friend of Lenny.
Oh, my pleasure.
And any friend of Lenny is a friend of mine, and I want you to start out to get to know you a little bit. How'd you meet Lenny?
Oh man, the baseball fraternity. It doesn't matter when you played. That fraternity's always been strong, and we just ran across each other in the course of playing. So, hey, this is Lenny's world. We all know that. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Lenny's world. We live in it for a while, and he's the boss.
Hey, watch how you say that. Salam. I know people that know people that know people that know people, okay? Forget about it.
Hey, yo, forget about it.
Forget about it.
I start out getting to know folks by asking this question. When you were called up to the big leagues, who told you that you were called up? What were the circumstances where you found out you're going up there? And we're talking about 1987. I think that was
wow.
the year.
Actually, I got called up at the end of '86, and Winston Yanis was my AAA manager. So he was the one who told me. It was one of those things where it was expected. And, so throughout the course of my AAA season that year, actually I started in AA, went to AAA, and then got to the big leagues. But it was just kind of understood that it was myself, Devon White, Kirk McCaskill, and a couple of other guys were going to get called up at the end of the season. But the actual day was like, hey, pack your bags, you're headed out. Winston Yanis, our AAA manager, told me.
And who was the first person you called?
Oh, I called my mother. No question. I called, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, my entire family, called them all and said, hey, I'm going to the big leagues. And that was, even though at that time for me, I kind of expected it, still getting that official word, man, that was incredible. Right. Absolutely incredible.
Nice.
The amazing thing about the call, Ralph, he didn't call me. He didn't call me.
He called them, but the line was busy. You were talking to him.
Yeah, you were busy, man. You had too much going on,
Yeah.
You weren't gonna pick up a call from a lowly minor leaguer,
I was in Bologna, but I would have picked up for a Tagliatelle dinner. Oh man, that's awesome. Can you remember your first date, Ralph? Like you remember his first date on the big league field? Can you remember how that was? Your first date, Ralph? Well, same feeling.
Right. Oh yes, absolutely. That. Except, looking back as an American boy, you're always going to have a first date somewhere along the line, but there are very few people that get to play in the big leagues. So you guys are both very, and not just this. We were talking about this the other day. Just to play professional ball.
What's amazing? Yeah. We had the both privilege of being with Lou Piniella. He had him as a manager, and I had him as a teammate. And he didn't change, manager or player. And we had more fun than God and the disciples. It was amazing playing with Lou. Never go. I mean, go ahead. Tell me one of your. I got a million Lou stories, but tell me one of yours, Matt.
Is this going to be played over something?
Yeah, it's all right. We're ready. At CG, all that. We got no restrictions.
We hesitate for the first one day for the same reason I didn't want to talk about my first date. Is this going to be played? Is this on the air?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll give you all a clear one. We're struggling one day, so I think we had lost maybe 3-4 in a row. And myself, Mike Cameron, our center fielder, and Edgar Martinez, our DH, we're sitting out, getting ready to stretch. And Lou comes walking over, and he looks at Cam. He said, "Cam, you got the day off." He looks at Edgar and says, "You got the day off." And he looks at me and he said, "Mac, if I had another second baseman, you'd have the day off too." So we were all struggling, but hey, he only had enough backups to put in, and fortunately I got to play that day, so we all just fell out because he was going around telling guys, if I had somebody else, you wouldn't be playing. I don't have anybody else, so you're playing. And yeah, it was. He kept it very loose, very loose.
Hey, Mac, I'm looking at your record in Baseball Reference. You came up, you had 433 at bats, and for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you were kind of a utility guy, didn't play very much, and all of a sudden you become a regular with the Orioles in '83, and you go on, you have like a 10, 15-year career playing every day. Yeah. How is it that it took those 3 or 4 years? Did you go back and forth to the minors? And what made it gel? What made your career gel with the Orioles?
I'll tell you what. I got on the bad side of the Angels for some reason. They didn't like my style of play. The second baseman that I replaced was Bobby Grich. Bobby was, obviously at the end of his career. Bobby was a power-hitting second baseman. Didn't have much range left at the time. So here I am, a young black kid coming up that could run, can throw, switch hit, and was a little bit flashy. And that just didn't mesh with Gene Mock's style of baseball. So Gene Mock was my first manager. So if I didn't do something the way that he wanted it done, that was just it. Now, I had a mentor there that absolutely took care of me, that saved me basically, and that was Cookie Rojas. So Cookie said, "Matt, you go out there and play your game the way that you play it. Don't worry about him." So
Did
Cookie and
tell
me,
you about the days of Wine and Rojas with the Phillies?
No, he did not.
Bobby Wine was the shortstop, and he was the second baseman, and that's what they dubbed those guys, days of Wine and Rojas.
Wow.
So
Cookie really helped me. Yeah, Cookie helped me
Rojas.
get through that stretch.
You said Cookie Rojas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had Cookie. See, it's a small world. Cookie Rojas was my manager in Puerto Rico with Frank Robinson, and he's also my third base coach with the Chicago Cubs. So everything he taught you, Matt, he taught me. So we're actually
twins. How about that?
And
Absolutely.
I was a switch hitter as well. So Matt, we might be twins.
Wow.
Well, I know three of us are not triplets. How about that for a guess?
There you go.
Did he want you to steal home a lot as well or not?
No, he didn't want that. I never had the green light when I was with the Angels. And a funny story, Gary Pettis led the league in stolen bases, and then the next year, Gene Mock didn't give him the green light. You could only run when Gene wanted you to run. And I think my rookie year I was 25 for 27, and I had like 18 or 19 of those in the first half. Devon was the same way, and so was Gary, and he just shut us down the second half. He didn't want us running anymore. It was like, really? So yeah, it was very difficult for me to play under him, and it got so bad it got so bad with them, they went out and got another second baseman. And here's the second baseman they got. The second baseman they went and got had been retired for 2 years, was at home, and he was legally blind in one eye. They brought him in. 10 days later, he's in the big leagues playing second base. And his name was Donnie Hill.
Donnie Hill, I think he came up with the A's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So eventually I escaped that, got traded to Cleveland, released from Cleveland, signed with Houston, made the team in Houston, got released from them halfway through the year, and then got to Baltimore, and Johnny Oates was the manager. And Johnny said, Mac, I know who you are. I know how you play. Go out there and play. So Johnny gave me that second opportunity, and I made the most of it for the next, 14 years.
Now,
so
there had to be,
that's how I got to playing.
5, 6 player development guys, minor league guys, front office guys, sitting down huddling to release you 3 or 4 different times, and then you have a 15-year major league career. Those guys look
it was a little startling, and the ones that actually did that, I made sure that if I ever saw them in the big leagues again, that I went over and said hello to them.
You kind of rub it in a little, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Every chance I got.
Here I am.
Whatever team they were with at that time, you better believe I tried my damnedest to crush them.
I got to ask you this. How did they respond to you when you went over there? Did they go, ooh, I knew you were a good guy, I told you so, or shoulda, woulda, coulda?
Oh, you know they did.
I tried to stick up for you. It wasn't my fault.
Exactly.
Right.
I knew you could do it, and I knew it was just a matter of time and all this and all that. I was like, yeah, okay, right, thank you.
Hey,
I tell you, was one of the guys Rich Dower?
No, Rich was in Cleveland when I got traded over to Cleveland. Rich did not really care for me that much.
Okay.
And I knew it. So he didn't really say much to me. I just knew he had a little funky attitude toward me that still exists to this day. He's he's with Houston. So I see him
coaching first base last night.
Yeah, he's coaching first base. First base. So yeah, I still run into him. And it's still a very chilly interaction when that happens, which I don't really care about.
I have a follow-up question because I'm hearing your personality, your competitiveness. I've asked Lenny this before. How do you adjust your first year at a ball when the wheels are spinning, when spring training comes? How do you go about? How do you get back to being just a civilian? And what do you do for competition?
Yeah. Well, it was difficult. It was difficult when I look back at it now and seeing what I was like. It was difficult. Now, for me, I went into broadcasting right away. So my first year out, I was broadcasting for ESPN. And that was really strange because that competitive fire was still there. And I actually could have played a couple of more years. And I actually had some managers call me when I retired, trying to talk me out of retirement just to come and help their young ball clubs.
Ralph, let me share this with you.
It was there.
Most guys like Mark are at second base. They're like Altuve, Alomar, Bobby Grich, Bobby Richardson, Billy Martin. I can name 20 second basemen. Felix Mian. We're all talkative. We're all talkative. We all talk a lot of smack while we're playing. We either talk good smack, bad smack, or we get in your face. But we do smack. It's a chip on our shoulder. So we're all really broadcasting at second base when a guy hits a double or steals a base. And then we have to act like we like them. And then we pick them up and we go, oh, I'm sorry, Bucky Dent, did I pick you up?
Do you share this? Would you all rather be shortstops?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you cross the line, Mac, are they your friends?
Oh, no.
No, Ralph, if your sister was on base, we would pick her off, okay?
I know that, but would you guys prefer to have played shortstop than second base? Just curious.
I played them both. It didn't matter. Yeah. Go ahead. You go, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
I came up as a shortstop and actually played some shortstop for the Angels, and then I actually played 1 year in the playoffs. Our starting shortstop, Carlos Guillen, with Seattle, came down with TB. So Lou asked me if I could play shortstop. I said, Lou, I came up as a shortstop. No problem. And that's exactly what I did. So at 37 years old, I was the starting shortstop against Cleveland and the Yankees in that playoff year, 2000.
So I'm 10 years ahead of him, Ralph. My generation was like, Coach, just put me in the lineup. I'll catch, I'll pitch, I'll pick them, I'll play anywhere. We opened the door for guys like Matt to go, today I'll just play second, Coach, if you
Absolutely.
want. Tomorrow I'll play left. We just got dirty
about it.
Who opened the door for a player being able to say, I don't know if I'll play second. Let me call my agent.
Well, I kind of think A-Rod made the $400 million contract. A-Rod went, I'm really a shortstop, but I'll play third for the sake of Jeter. But with the Texas Rangers, he said, I'll only play shortstop. With the Seattle Mariners, he said, I'll only play shortstop. And then it changed and became the Yankees.
Interesting because I think the Yankees would have been better off if Jeter moved to third base, and A-Rod played short. He had a lot more range. Let's put it that way. I think it was a matter of pride that New York thing.
No,
pardon me?
Jeter was the better shortstop. The three best shortstops in the game at the time were Jeter, Garcia Parra, and A-Rod. And when A-Rod wanted to go to New York, he couldn't play short there every day. He had to play third. Jeter had much better range. A-Rod was going to start slowing down, which he did, because when A-Rod was with Seattle, and I played with him a year in Seattle, he could run a little bit. But when he got to Texas, that slowed down, and then when he got to New York, he was definitely a lot slower and had lost a couple of steps. Jeter didn't start losing steps until he was over 35. So A-Rod to go on the third, that was always going to end up being what he did because he was just too big and too slow. He wasn't like Cal, where Cal could play forever and be 6'4" and still be nimble and be in the right position. A-Rod never really learned how to position himself the way that the best shortstops did. Jeter was much better at short.
Now, those people that don't know who Cal is Cal Ripken, not Cal Worthington Ford. Cal Ripken.
Cal Worthington had a lion or a tiger or something?
He had the rally monkey. He had the rally monkey.
Yes.
He had the rally monkey.
Yes. Hey, Max, thank you for that. That was great analyzation. I had a misconception that Rodriguez was a better shortstop, and
no, he was an all-around better hitter because he had more power than Jeter.
Right.
But if the game was on the line, if I had to pick between the two, I would put Jeter at the plate. He may not take you deep, but he's going to get on base and do some damage. Yeah. A-Rod could be pitched to much easier than Jeter.
You gotta remember this, Ralph. Jeter was very agile, very deceptive. He was smoother. He was smoother. He's smooth like Omar Vizquel. There's some guys that play short that are just effortless. They don't put a lot of anxiety and anxiousness in it. They always look relaxed. It always looks like you're watching a Broadway musical or something. They're just smooth. And he was one of those smooth guys.
Right.
Jeter is definitely
I'm assuming Johnny Oates was your all-time favorite manager to play for, just based on what you said. Am I him giving?
I would have to say that Johnny showed that faith and belief in me that I could go out there and get the job done on a daily basis and in multiple positions, because he was the first manager that had me move and change positions in order to keep me in the lineup. So initially I started out playing left field with the Orioles in spring training, a little bit of third base, which I hated, and then ended up being the everyday right fielder. So
you didn't like third base?
May I ask Lenny? I know who the manager you may not have wanted to list on your list as your favorite, but who?
No. Go ahead. I'm cool with everybody. Remember that. They had the problem, Ralph. I didn't. So I'm cool with everybody. Regardless of you hearing about my brawl, I'm cool with everybody.
Well, we talked about your brawl way back, initially, your famous one, and you got the word out. You told me what the situation was, and the fact that you did release all that anger makes it a lot easier to go through life that way. Let's put it that way. It was there. The anger was there. But getting rid of it is a good thing.
Billy Martin was awesome, and you got to remember this. Lou Piniella was a clone Billy Martin. So Billy Martin, anxiety, military type, stay fun, stay loose, player's manager, player's player. It never changed with Lou or Billy. And a lot of guys are clones of those two. Some of the guys managing right day, Girardi's a clone Piniella/Billy Martin. He's gone now. Ron Washington, same thing. When you're around those kind of guys, LaRusso, that stuff rubs off on you. Game face, game.
No question about it.
It makes your personality, makes your lifestyle better, on and off the field. You learn a lot from Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio's and Joe Torre. I had Joe Torre. It was like playing with Billy and Lou all over again. Some guys have the same makeup. And they want to win. They're competitive. They'll knock you down. They'll break up the double play. They'll take out your wife and kids at second, and then they'll pat you on the back and go, "I'm sorry I beat you up, but I'm trying to win a pennant here."
Hey, guys, I'm wondering if we were joined by Michael Duca. Is Michael on the line? Oh, okay. Michael.
I don't know who Michael Duca is.
But
I know Michael Jackson, but I don't know Michael
Duca is the official scorer with the San Francisco Giants and the A's.
Oh, is he a guest today? Is he a guest today?
He is. He does a show with me on this very network on the Giants. Giants baseball, past, present, future, and our show is running long. And I thought it might have come on. It's the same number, but not yet. I would introduce you two guys. I say this to every guest Lenny brings on. This podcast radio, whole thing, it's selfless self-promotion. So, Mac, what you got going? Anything you want to plug? Any books you got? Websites, appearances?
Actually, what I'm doing is I am about to start a training facility along with fields. So I am going to do 25 all-turf baseball and softball fields. It will be the largest training and tournament facility in the country. I will be doing basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, and soccer. It will be training. It will be leagues. It will be tournaments. All the kids there will have the opportunity to learn how to play whatever sport they want to play every day of the week. They'll get professional training. All of my general managers for each sport has played at the professional level. That means soccer. That means women's softball. That means basketball, obviously baseball as well. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what I'm working on. So it's going to encompass about 120 acres, and it is a daunting task, but it's one that is absolutely well worth it. And really, the goal for me with all of this is not to get kids to the highest level of playing, but it's really an avenue to help them get college scholarships that go unused every single year. Every kid.
Lenny, do you have a big smile on your face? Because that's basically what you do. Am I right?
Listen. Bradley Randle, my son, and his team is going to challenge McLemore in Texas
or California or Italy, our guys against your guys. Bring it on, baby.
They'll be ready.
How soon will you be ready? How soon will you be ready?
It's going to be at least.
If you guys need a public address announcer, I'm your man.
Are you guys ready for him?
All right. That's good.
Let me hear the public address. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Mac, when you came in to play the Yankees, give me one of your numbers and who you played for. What were you wearing? Mac? Did we lose Mac?
I think so.
We lost him.
Mac,
he's there.
I'm here.
All right, Mac. Who'd you play for when you came in with the Yankees, and what number did you wear?
I came up with the Angels, and I wore number 28.
And that's the first time you came into Yankee Stadium wearing number 28?
Oh, yes. That was the first time I played in Yankee Stadium. That was a very surreal day for me. Walking through the tunnel and then coming up into the dugout, onto the field. It was amazing for me. Absolutely amazing.
Okay, and you played second base.
Played second base, and I have a very funny story about Yankee Stadium. The second time I went into Yankee Stadium was the middle of summer. Sold out Saturday afternoon, game of the week, and this is when I realized I was actually in the big leagues. Bases are loaded. Dave Winfield, one of my childhood idols, was at the plate. Don Sutton's pitching. The crowd's going crazy, and I'm sitting out here, and I'm like, man, I am in the big league. That's Don Sutton, my teammate, on the mound, facing Dave Winfield. And thank God Winnie didn't hit that ball my way, because I was in a totally different dimension. If he had missed it, if he had hit it, I would have missed it.
Well,
wow.
Here we go. Now batting for the Yankee. Screwed it up. Now batting for the Angels, number 28, Mark McLemore, number 28. That was
good. That was good. He's getting Phil good. He's in Palmer again.
I'll tell you what, because I got the button, I'm going to do a take 3. Now batting for the Angels. Take 4. Now batting for the Angels, number 28, Mark McLemore, number 28. I think that's the best one. We'll go with that.
There you go.
All right. When we make the movie, Mac, that's the one we use.
There you go. I like it.
Good enough.
All right, get ready for film.
Thank you for being here, my friend. Give your website or give a number where you can be reached.
Lenny's got my number. That's all I've got right now. Website's not up yet. Yeah, website's not up yet.
Okay.
I'll give you all the information. Okay.
You'll come back
we'll get you all the
information. How you do it from time to time?
Absolutely. Give me a holler anytime.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right.
And would you, Lenny, please text me Pappa Jack's phone number, if you would.
Yep, after 40 push-ups, I will do that.
I got 38 done already. It's radio.
Okay, good deal.
You don't know. I'm done. Text on. Thanks, Mac.
Thanks, Mac.
Right,
Mac attack.
All right. You got it.
All right.
Take care, brother. God bless.
Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm Ralph Tyko, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. Adios, everybody. Hang in there. Keep on keeping on.